today I'm going to be sharing with you five steps to combat overwhelm in your yoga business. Okay, that's what we're talking about today. So this is something that we all encounter, as I said, and yeah, we all deal with this, right? And here's the thing, like combating overwhelm really means that you have to have a solid game plan for yourself, right? That's the crux of it. Like it always comes down to that. And I know from my own experience that when I start my week without any clear direction and I don't know what my priorities are for that week, or what I need to tackle first, that's really when my focus suffers, right? That's when my concentration goes out the window. I end up procrastinating, and my to-do list feels way bigger, like so much bigger than it actually is. And when you start the week like that, what happens is you allow this never-ending to-do list to claim victory, okay, before you've even had a chance to tick anything off it. So you must prioritize what matters, and you must really look at ways that you can manage your time in a way that not only allows you to complete the tasks, but also protects your mind, right? And stops you from going down that overwhelm rabbit hole. So that's what we're talking about today. And I know that a lot of you feel this way, okay? Because I think when it comes to planning, especially, like actually creating and putting together plans for the next 90 days or the next 6 months or even the year ahead, it seems to be one of those parts of your business that gets left behind. And so what you really need to understand is that the more that you plan, okay, the more you actually spend time sitting down and working out what you want to do and what you're going to work on, the more you set yourself up for success, and the less time that you waste. Actually, like it might feel like it's this big thing that you've got to put this this big plan together, and it's going to take up lots of time to do that, but in the long run you waste less time. So if you put that work in, put in the work up front, basically put in the work up front to make your life easier, because we want to have efficient days, don't we? We want to be more efficient with our time and how we're spending the hours that we're setting aside to actually work on our business, right? We want to feel accomplished when we get to the end of a day. Again, it comes back to planning out, planning when we can fit things in around our life responsibilities as well. Okay, wonderful stuff. So today I am sharing with you 5 steps, okay? 5 steps to help you to build out these efficient days that really allow you to kind of maximize your work time and feel confident and happy when the day is done. Like that's how we want to feel, right? When we get to the end of the day, we want to feel happy and confident that we've done the things we were going to do. So this really is about time management. And I think sometimes we all need a little reminder of this, okay? It's really good to have a little reminder when you're feeling overwhelmed and you're feeling frantic, because as I said, we want to feel accomplished, as we work on our business and feel like we're actually taking action and we're actually making progress on the things that matter, okay? So that's where we're going to start. We're going to start with what matters. This is step number 1, okay? Step number 1 is to focus on business goals. Yeah. And by this, so this comes hand in hand with the planning that I've been talking about. But by this, I mean the things that actually get you results. Okay. So here's what I see, okay, in this space. In this community and with yoga teachers that I speak to, and they're just starting out, let's say, and I see them spending a lot of time on things that aren't really leading to any true results. Yeah. So we need to be really strategic about what it is we're trying to achieve. And this is why, having a business plan and really thinking about what your goals are is super, super important. And two essential goals that you must have in your business, okay, in your business plan are number one, a goal for revenue. Yeah, a revenue goal for 2022. So how much money do you want to make in 2022? Okay, and if you're bold enough, you can share it in the chat, share it in the comment box. How much money? Do you guys have a revenue goal? Have you set a revenue goal? If you have, share it in the chat. And then number two, you need to have a goal for community growth, okay? For growing your community, like how many new students are you aiming to attract into your community in 2022? Do you have a number? Because if you don't, you need to look at this. You should have a number, okay? So these are two very important goals. These are two very important goals. And when you've set those goals, when you've given yourself a number, you then need to look at what are the things that you need to do to reach those two goals. Yeah, what are the things that you need to do? Yeah, what do you need to do to really get results? Because these are the things that you really need to be focusing on, okay, when you're working on your business. Like these are the things that your time should be spent on. So this step number one, is really about getting laser focused on, where you're spending your time and energy. Because, for instance, like if you are spending all of your time, like just sharing posts on social media, pushing drop-in classes that aren't really speaking to a specific type of person, and you don't know why you can't fill up your drop-in classes and the numbers are dwindling, you're spending your time and energy on the wrong thing, okay? 2022 isn't about that. This era that we're living in right now, 2022, it's not about that anymore. People are looking for more support. They're looking for more guidance. And this is really a great thing for you as a business owner, because if your goal, let's say, is to make 50K in 2022, that's just over 4K a month, right? 4K a month. You're going to have to fill a lot of drop-in classes to reach that goal. Yeah? But if you decide that you want to create a membership, an online membership, or you want to create an online course, for instance, your chances of reaching your goal becomes a lot higher. So, when things aren't working in your business and yet, you don't have the awareness to look at it or to look at the data and to be strategic, of course you're going to feel overwhelmed. Okay, because everything that you're doing day to day, it will feel like that you're trying to move this, you're trying to, move a mountain and not getting any results. And that's overwhelming, guys, right? That's overwhelming. Like if you feel stuck and you feel like you're in a loop because you're not focusing on the business goals that really get results. So work on this. Yeah, work on this. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if what I'm saying to you right now is really resonating, then you really need to work on your goals and go over, look at the data from last year and really put your business hat on and start to be strategic about what you really want to achieve this year in 2022 and what you need to do specifically in order to meet those goals. So I actually go over this. I don't know if you guys, some of you will have, if you're in my programs, you'll have had access to the Dream Planning Masterclass. And it's actually a bonus inside Elevate Online that's happening this weekend. So if you need support with business planning and setting goals and, setting key objectives to reach those goals, this is a bonus that I'm including in Elevate Online that's happening this weekend. So that's the first step, right? Is really to get this bigger picture, to really understand what you're trying to be to really understand what you're working on. Like, what do I need to be spending my time working on so that we can really start to combat this feeling of overwhelm? Yeah, when we're working on things that aren't having any results, that aren't moving the needle. Okay, so that was step one. So step two, let's have a look at step two. So step two is to create rules for yourself. Step two actually is moving into the day-to-day. Okay, so we've looked at the bigger vision, the bigger thing, your goals, and now I want to kind of just share some steps that are really related to productivity and your day-to-day. And step two is to create some rules around checking social media and your emails. This is a really important step, to create some rules and boundaries. I'm not exactly the queen of limiting my distractions. Like, I will put my hand up here. However, when I really need to focus in on one task and just remove that kind of outside noise, I'm turning my phone off, right? I'm turning my phone off, and I'm not even opening up my emails in my browser. Like, that's remaining unopened because I know that I need to seriously focus. And if you can't turn your phone off, then turn off notifications, right? Turn off notifications, because it's just a distraction, isn't it? It's a big distraction. Like, if we get a notification come through, we want to see what it is. So another thing that you can do is, in Instagram, you can actually go into the settings and set a limit on Instagram. And there are actually some apps that you can hook up to Instagram or hook up to your emails and Facebook on your phone that actually stop you from opening the app if you go beyond that limit. Okay, so if you really need that, then go and check those type of apps out, because they're there. What I'll say here is, I love technology, but you really do need to have some boundaries here, like when it comes to actually focusing your energy on the task in hand. And another tip here is to just put your phone in another room, like strategically place it in another room. And or you can set aside time, set aside time to use your phone for any filming that you might be doing, or if you're doing a live, or if you're doing stories or whatever it might be. But become disciplined with this, guys. Like, have some discipline and set some rules. That's the important thing. Like, know what the rules are, set them, and then have discipline. And I think, the problem is, if we have our phone next to our laptop when we're working during the day, and it's by your side, then it's really tempting, isn't it, to just pick it up. And then before we know it, we've opened Instagram and we're mindlessly scrolling. So put it in another room, turn it off. Honestly, I think that's like the most underrated and valuable productivity hack. If you can do that, it really, really is. You will see an instant result with that. Now, when it comes to email, I think what the main thing to realize when it comes to your emails is that most emails are, not that urgent, right? So again, just put some rules in, put in an out of office message. So this is what I have, this is what my team have. We have an out of office message that actually sets expectations. And, my message will say something like, I check my emails a couple of times a day and aim to respond within 72 hours. So you're setting an expectation around that. So I think with these distractions, our brains are clever, right? Our brains are clever, and they love to be distracted or to be pulled away from something that we're working on. And, when it happens, like when a notification comes up on your phone, or you see that a new email has come in, you're literally getting this kind of like kick of dopamine every time that happens, and you need to check it off. Like, that's what it is. It's that urge to go and see what it is so that you can respond to it, gives you that kick of dopamine. So this is why we do it. So this is why it's really important to have some hacks and rules and boundaries to stop that from happening, and to just really kind of, focus on what you need to be focusing on, which of course are those goals in step one, those goals that really move the needle. Okay, so I think that's a really important thing that I wanted to mention here, is those distractions, your phone, emails. Have some rules and boundaries around that, because that's really going to help you to stay focused. The more focused you stay, that you can stay, the less overwhelmed you're going to feel. Okay, perfect. So step three, if you're just joining me here on Instagram, we're talking about how to combat overwhelm. Step three is to start the day in creation mode, okay? Start the day in creation mode. So this is something that I'm really seeing for myself, is that, when I consume content, before I start creating something, my creativity is impacted. Okay, tell me if this is the same for you, if this is true for you. So what I mean by that is, if you start your day picking up your phone, looking at Instagram, responding to messages in WhatsApp, and you're just doing that before you've actually spent time focusing on a task in hand, actually it's harder to focus on that task. And, I think it's almost like we've kind of clouded ourselves. So we've clouded our mind with this overload of information, and it's external information, right, that we're looking at on Instagram messages and so on. And our creativity actually needs space, right? So if you're starting your day like checking your emails and responding to queries and comments on your social posts, you end up being kind of sucked into this whole of like, answer this email, respond to this person first thing in the morning. So we want to try to stay away from that. We want to try to limit that. And this is something that I've really been working on, myself, and like starting, creating a habit with this, and really starting my day by creating something. And I don't necessarily mean creating content. Like, it could be that you are working on your marketing plan, or you're spending time forecasting and budgeting. This is something I'm doing at the minute. Or, you're writing a job ad and a role description for a virtual assistant. Maybe you're writing copy for a landing page, and you're building out that landing page and setting up all the integrations with your email system and so on. These types of tasks require brain power, right? So, perhaps it's filming. Perhaps you're actually going to sit down, you've got your space all set up, and you're sitting down to film videos for a new opt-in freebie welcome series. Yeah, that would be a really good use of your time. So this is creation mode, isn't it? Like, this is getting stuck into these big creative tasks that really require our brain power before, focusing on all of those kind of little things here and there, the emails, the messages that suck up our energy and they suck up our headspace. And I think, if you leave those other tasks to lunchtime or the afternoon, and just really focus on those kind of big kind of eat those frog tasks. I don't know if you guys have heard of the term eat that frog, but it's like this big task that we need to focus on. So I'm speaking from experience with this one, and it's something that I'm really, working on myself, more myself right now. So focus on the creative tasks, the creative projects, first thing in the morning, when your mind is like fresh, and you've got more attention, right? You've got more concentration, and you're more likely then. It goes back to step number one, but you're more likely to actually like make some real progress on those things, those goals that are moving your business forward. You're more likely to get to the end of the day feeling really accomplished, right? So that's a really good thing to take a look at and see if that works for you. So step four, ask yourself this: how much time do you spend working on your business? Even if this is just 1 hour a day, right? Step four is about creating a space that helps you to work in the most productive way. That's what step four is about. So, if you're spending a lot of time, like, I don't know, hunched over a laptop, let's say, and you're staring at a screen for hours on end, like, you want to feel good, and you want that space to really be like set up for you to be able to work efficiently, and productively. And most people have been working from home over the last couple of years anyway. So, looking at how you can create a comfortable space, have a comfortable chair to sit on. You're not working from the sofa, or you're not working from your bed with your laptop on your lap, okay? So if you have the space, I know some of you may be limited to space, but try your best to create a workspace in your home. And you want this ideally to be a quiet space. You want to have a desk and a chair, and maybe if you've got some recording equipment, or if you've got a microphone or a ring light or whatever it might be, just to make your space feel good and help you to feel like a business owner. Yeah, so that's where this kind of like this physical space that you're creating and your headspace are matching up, right? Because we want to be thinking and acting like a business owner, right? When we're working on our business. So how can we create that environment? And, working from your bed, it just isn't going to cut it, is it? We're showing up as a business owner, as yogipreneurs who are combating overwhelm. So we want to be owning that title. And that means that you need to be working from a productive and fit for purpose space. The final step for today to set up your day to combat overwhelm is to use a timer. Use a timer. So a friend of mine has recently been sharing this with me and finding some big success with working in 75 to 90-minute sprints and then taking a break. Taking for a break. He's using his break to go off for a surf and then coming back to do say another 90-minute sprint. And I think this works really, really well, because as entrepreneurs, we are creating our own timetable, right? We're not 9 to 5. So actually you can make your timetable work for you. You can make your timetable work for you, or work it around family commitments, whatever it might be. But I really love this approach of blocking out time, time blocking, and actually using a timer and, setting a time for this. You can call it a sprint, right? Call it a sprint. So one of the most common timers to use, and some of you may have heard of this, is the Pomodoro timer. So this is actually a 25-minute technique, and it's been around for a long, long time. You can Google it and to get some more information, but basically it's 25 minutes. And this technique says that is the perfect length of time to help you to not procrastinate and to be productive, and also to help you to create some urgency so that you can stay focused on the task that you're tackling. So, what we need to remember is that not every single day is going to be a highly productive day, and that's okay, right? So be easy on yourself when you have those less productive days. And actually remove the judgment, because the judgment doesn't help anyone. If you start being judging yourself, then you start feeling down on yourself, and then it's more difficult to kind of jump back in with both feet the next day, because you're still feeling grumpy and guilty that you didn't get everything done the day before. That's not what we want to be doing. If that's happening, you really need to look at that. So always be easy on yourself. Tomorrow, today is a new day. You can always start again. So if you need something to really kind of give you this kind of, I'm going to say kick up the booty, but to actually get things done, there's really something about a timer, setting a timer that motivates you to be able to fit in as much as you can of that task in that time frame. And what it also does is it stops you from multitasking. Okay, so that used to be the thing that, this great thing if you were able to multitask, but actually the research shows that multitask wastes 20% of your time, because you're switching between tasks and you're wasting brain power, right? So you're using a lot of brain power up to do that, to switch and start new tasks all the time. So I think, it's using the timer approach and these kind of blocking out time, working in blocks. Give this one a go, because it really is almost magical how much you can actually squeeze in when you know that you're working against the clock, right? Okay, so they are your 5 steps. So I hope that has, what I've shared today. I hope that you feel a little bit more capable to, tackle overwhelm and to really just focus and, prioritize what you need to be working on each day and move those distractions out of the way. And, also I want to say here is that I'm a big fan also of just listening to what you need. Yeah. So maybe, time blocking works one week and then the other week it's not working quite so well. So listen to what you need, but really do take a look at this because there's definitely tools that you can use and things that you can do to banish that overwhelm that we all feel, right? We all get this overwhelm, this feeling of overwhelm. It affects all of us at some point. And as I said, like there's no such thing as like this perfect productivity 24/7. Like you will have off days, you will have distractions that will come in and like swoop you away. But as long as you've got some helpful methods to fall back on, yes, things that I've shared with you today, then you'll be able to get into that rhythm that will help you to move forward and, that feels good, right? That feels good. So see what works for you. That's the important thing because you want this to feel good, yeah? And that's just as important, like when it comes to what you're doing and what you're working on. Okay, wonderful. Good stuff. Yeah, sending you all so much love. Thank you so much for being here. If you have any questions, do reach out. I'm here and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Okay, take care. Have a fabulous day. See you soon, guys. Bye bye.